everybody, welcome back to my kitchen today. I am hungry. Unfortunately there's not really much of a big agenda planned for the week because, for today, because I'm just cooking for the week. Getting myself something to eat over the next couple of days, and that's going to be great because tomorrow I'm hoping to work out with you guys again, and if we get that done, it'll be great. I will want all this food because I'm not going to feel like dragging my tired old tail into the kitchen and making it tomorrow. I am also going to want to silence the monitor computer over here real quick. Otherwise, we're going to be listening to me echo over here on a 30-second delay. Of course, my volume control is gone. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? There we go. All right, so first things first. What I want to do is get the potatoes and mushrooms started. I'm going to roast up some fingerling potatoes with butter and herbs like I did the last time. And those are going to be real good. So we need, come over here with me. We need some trays. Which are up a little higher than still I would like them to be, but you guys know that. And first thing to do is cut them up. All right, come on over here. And I will try and keep an eye on you guys while we do this. If I have any of these left over, or if I just make too many of them for me to eat, which I don't see, because I can eat me some potatoes now, we can also take and try to make them into a shepherd's pie, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think these are going to be delightful. There we go. I like them kind of in larger chunks because when you slice them up like that and they kind of get to sit and roast for a while, they get good and chewy and crispy on the outside and still have a nice little fluffiness in the middle. Little ones like this you can just cut in half and they're really nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and stick these in the pan real quick before I start cutting up the rest of it. There we go. Sometimes you'll see ones with like little eyes on them. You can just knock them off or flick them off with your thumb. They'll come right off. That's just the potato trying to grow again. Sometimes with seed potatoes you can huck them in the ground and they'll actually start growing, which is nice, but I don't have the right kind of area here or the right kind of attention span to try to grow potatoes. There we go. Now when I get these done, I'll spread them out and show you what we're going to do with them next. I guess I could have been melting the butter while we were doing this, but this is not necessarily the best prepared stream in the world. It's just me being hungry and cooking up a boatload of food and deciding that it might be beneficial to stream it so you guys can see how to also cook up the self-same boatload of food. Now I like to put the open ends up. Not only so that I can butter them, but so that if we do end up roasting them a good long time or throwing them under the broiler, the edges get all nice and crispy. It's not necessarily need to do it to every single one of them, but so let me move this flour out of the way. I was contemplating making some chicken and dumplings today, but I wanted them with turkey broth, and the problem is Kroger didn't have any turkey broth. So Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go down to Meijer because I didn't want to use chicken broth because what I wanted was turkey broth. So, we're going to hold off on that until tomorrow. Besides, with all the beef that I'm cooking today and other things, it's going to be very surprising if we're still hungry at the end of it, and that flour will keep, as will the chicken. I've stuck it in the freezer for today. So we've got our butter, but what I want to do is to add a little pepper. There we go. A little salt. A little bit of celery. Where's my sage? I know I got sage. Here we go, sage. Sage. And I think some basil on these potatoes would go really well. And last but not least, a little bit of parsley, because I love parsley on my potatoes. Okay. Now, I'll shove this up here, and we'll get just a little more butter, I think. Because we need plenty to rub on these potatoes, and they will drink it. There we go. Alright. Huck that in the microwave for 30 seconds and keep an eye on it, because it will start to bubble and spit. So how are you guys doing today? Everyone gearing up for a good weekend? There we go, look at that. Now, we're just going to take us a brush and smear that onto all of our potatoes here. There we go. That looks better. That looks real good. Now, here's a trick. A little bit of water in the bottom of this, and I got a little too much. Don't pour it on the potatoes or you'll wash off all your stuff, but just a touch in the bottom of the pan will keep things from sticking too much until these things start roasting properly. So, off we go to the stove. I should probably stop using my stove as pan storage. That said, we'll be using those pans in a minute, so it's good that we've got them out. Now, I'm going to cook those for a while at 385 because with any luck, they'll be in there a little while we take care of everything else. Now, a couple things. My food I'm going to cook last. I'm going to cook the stuff that I'm prepping for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Right now, and so that means we need to get our beef out of the oven, and I'm also going to make some we need to take care of that. Those sketchy carrots will be next. So here's the thing. I got a couple real nice pieces of beef. One I'm going to eat immediately. One I'm going to prepare to marinate, and I'm going to do it up as if it were a rack of ribs. It's not a rack of ribs. it will never be a rack of ribs, but we're going to do it like a rack of ribs. So what I need to do is to make it, and then marinate it, and then cook it, and then cook it again. So it'll be a multiple day process. We're going to see the first step of that process today, and then probably tomorrow, if we work out together, I'll finish up at the end and cook that up and eat it, because it'll be good. So for right now, we're going to start working on that. So which one of these big insane pieces of meat do we want to do that with? I think this one right here. This is a good candidate. So we've got a nice beef top round here, and I'm going to move my cutting board and knife aside because I'm going to want my vegetable knife. And we are going to get us our piece of meat and set it right. Whoop, excuse me. There. We're just going to put this somewhere safe, and I'm going to put that one in when I'm done too. First things first, we want to tenderize this a little bit because, again, we're pretending it's ribs and we want it to be fall apart tender, like ribs. And so I recommend a little bit of cling wrap to keep it from flying all over the place. Although you have to be careful, because what you don't want to do is to grind plastic in your meat either. There we go. Flip that over. All right. Very nice. Okay. So, next thing we need to do is make us a nice marinade to go on it. So come with me, and we will select our ingredients for our marinade. Now, we're going to get a little liquid smoke, little Worcestershire sauce, little vinegar, and the rest of the stuff that we want. Oh, I know what I want. A little touch of that, why not? Okay. So, first things first. Yum. We want to put a little bit of Worcestershire in here, okay? And that should be about enough. It's the main component of this. Now, when I say 3 drops, I mean like 3 little tiny drops of liquid smoke. 1, 2, 3, okay. That's plenty. We are now going to throw in some black pepper. That would be about enough. Any kind of herbs and spices that you want on this. So I'm going to go with a little bit of sage. We're going to go with some bay leaf powder. We are going to go with some cayenne pepper. Uh-oh. There we go. Man, that's smelling good. Now, how do we want to finish this off? I think celery salt. Celery's always good with meat. There we go. Now, the pièce de résistance is a little bit of hot sauce. Just a couple of drops to give it a little taste. Come on out. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Nice. Now the trick here is that we might also want a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, some other things like that. So, a little touch of garlic. Why not? But mostly what I want is the onion powder. There we are. And that whole thing is starting to smell heavenly. Of course, it would be better if I didn't get a great big glob of it on my computer. Wait a minute, someone's here! Hey, B-homie, how you doing? I'm actually here just cooking up some, well, let me show you here. I'm actually cooking up some beef. I'm going to do this up as if it were ribs. It's not, but we're going to pretend like it is and marinate it and then cook it and serve it as if it were. A little slurp of malt vinegar in there to finish off the marinade. And what you guys are going to do with that is to stir it up real good. So how you doing today? What are you up to? Any big plans for today? Anything specific that you're working on or want to do, or just kind of hanging out today? And actually what I want to do is I want to get another piece of plastic wrap real quick, and I'll show you why. If you'll give me just a moment. I'm going to set it over here. Is once we, oh come on, once we get this marinade on here, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up and let it soak in. Overwatch for like 3 hours. Oh yeah, man, I know I have not eaten yet today, and this is frickin' killing me. Absolutely killing me. My stomach is growling. When I get done with this, you better believe I'm going to eat. And the worst part is this delicious looking thing that I'm cooking up right now, I don't get to touch this bad boy for like 2 days because it has to marinate. So that's pretty awesome looking right there. And what I'm going to do is just fold this over. I don't think I got enough plastic wrap on this, but that's okay. I'll stick it in a bowl or something and just let it do. So we're going to squeeze on that a bit. Yeah, see, I've let some marinade escape. But again, that is okay. I say a bowl, but I'm just going to kind of stick it on a plate so it stays good. And I'll probably put a little more plastic wrap or something on it. But that is done for the moment. So unfortunately, I just have to wait for that to marinate. And then I'll cook it up later. So into the refrigerator it goes. And while that marinates, give me a second, I need to wipe up my counter. So how was Overwatch? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? Did you win? I'll be right back. Oh, and it's Death Monkey! Hey, how's it going? And you say, yeah, I actually already hit it with the mallet, and now it's going in the fridge to sit for a while. And there's also the Bacon Maker. He's here for foods that look amazing. Well, man, I hope that I can entertain you with them. Next, I'm going to make some salmon patties that I'm going to make and then have for lunch. And then after that, we are going to do a repeat of that Monster Hunter World beef that I did the other day. I don't have shrimp to go with it today, and I wish I did, but it's just too much freaking food, because after that I'm going to make chicken for the salad and for lettuce wraps and things like that for lunch all week. So there's going to be plenty of meat today, but those little shrimp would have been a nice treat. And you know, for $2, I should have gotten like 4 or 5 of them, but I didn't. So, and now I'm regretting it. But again, I don't want to get more than I can actually eat, because that's bad to waste food. You died a lot in Overwatch, that's what you did. Well, that's okay. Practice makes perfect. I need something to wipe up this schmutz, and I'm out of towel paper, so I will be right back. There we go. Clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. Now I got this out, but next we're going to do the salmon patties real quick. And for those, we want to chop some carrots and celery and onions, and we want to get some eggs. So, first things first though, we have 2 cans of salmon. Now, cool thing about these is that you can drain them pretty easy. Bad thing about them is they have these goofy little pull tabs on them that I hate, because I always end up almost cutting myself on them, and I would much rather... Oh, I've turned that towards the window and it's gone all dark. I would much rather use a can opener. So, that said, we'll just drain all the juice off these. Now, if any of you guys were here for the tuna casserole stream, you know I get tuna with oil in it so that I don't have to put any oil in it, because the oil's already in it, and they use a really light oil and it already tastes like tuna. With salmon, on the other hand, for these salmon patties, I like getting it in water because you got to get it out of it so that it will stick to itself. We're going to get a bowl and put our salmon in there, and we can clear out the remainder of it from the can with a fork, because again, I don't like to waste food. Get our second can going here. Chicken of the sea, pink salmon, boneless, skinless, flavorful. Any brand of salmon will work. Any brand that you can get into, anyway. And for my next trick, I will lacerate my hand. Alright. Get the water out of that. And now, once we put this over here, and I'll bring you guys over to see, we have a bowl of salmon. Yay. Not very exciting yet, but we're working on it. I'm also going to check on you guys because it looks like you're talking to me. Overwatch is stupid today. Why is that? Bunch of 10-year-olds with foul mouths on it? Okay, eggs. We don't need them just yet. What we're going to want first is the celery and carrots. Now, we'll start with the carrots. I've got some carrots, and I've had them for a while, so some of them might be a little sketchy looking, but that's okay. We're going to just clean them right up. If I can find a strainer. There we go. Come on over here. Watch me clean the carrots. There we go. I should roast up a few of these. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. Give me a second. I'm going to throw this batch in with our potatoes. Alright, so now I'll need more carrots, but you know. There you go. Bunch of, that's what I thought. Bunch of foul-mouthed 10-year-olds. You know, there are some games online that I cannot imagine that the parents are aware that their children are talking in quite the manner that they are. There we go. We're gonna pick out the slimy ones. I'm making it sound worse than it actually is. The carrots are okay. They've just been in there a while, and you want to be selective about the ones that you use. So if you wash them off and they still don't look all that great, don't use them. But if you wash them off and, hey, they look great, well then, you got you a fine carrot. Go ahead and eat that little puppy right on up. Okay, so. Now these little tiny carrots are for roasting. And on one hand, nothing looks more ridiculous than trying to mince all these tiny little carrots into individual pieces as opposed to just getting a full-sized carrot and cutting it up. But the problem is I don't have any full-sized carrots, and I also feel kind of silly buying a bunch of them when I already have carrots in my refrigerator, especially ones that need to be eaten like this. So these are the ones that we're going to use, even though it is less convenient than perhaps cutting up a standard-sized carrot. One thing you'll notice I'm doing is I have them down the middle. That is because if they have a big flat surface on one side, they can't roll away from you. Of course, maybe I shouldn't cut 15 at once. Uh-oh, hang on. No, I don't want to exit. Hey, how's it going? I'm actually cooking, well, I'm cooking roasted potatoes. I'm cooking, I already marinated up a piece of beef that I'm going to cook as if it were a rack of ribs, although it's not. So, boneless beef ribs that's actually top round meat. Working on some salmon patties right now for later this week, and then I'm going to do some meat and some chicken for my salad. So it should round out the lineup for the week very nicely. Here we go. How are you doing? Guys, by the way, that's my mom that just showed up in chat. She's also a very good cook. She'd have to be. She does the wheat-free, gluten-free thing because of health requirements, and in order to make that taste like anything, you've got to get creative sometimes. I'm putting way too many carrots in this, but I like carrots and I want to eat these up. So there we go. We got carrots in our salmon. And now we need to add a little celery. So if you guys want to greet her by name, it would be Carla with a K. And hi, Ma. Thanks for coming to the stream. Oh, me. That's funny, Dab. All right, we're getting some celery. Not a lot, just a little. 2 stalks ought to take care of it. And what you want to do is wash them before you use them, because celery grows upright, which means dirt can fall down and gather here. It's just like leeks when they grow up. Anything that grows vertically and has like a little cup at the bottom, you want to wash it out real good before you cook it, because dirt and debris and things like that can accrue. You might also notice that I'm leaving the leaves on. I like celery leaves. Not everyone does, but I do. It's just heated. How's it going? Sure, to Bacon Maker. Why not? All right, guys. So, what we're going to do is kind of roll this up a little bit and get it to where we can finely mince these leaves. Because like I said, I do like celery leaves, and I use them almost like an herb, almost like a fresh parsley or something like that, and they taste really good in things. But the stalk also gives things a nice crunch. There we go. That's probably enough, don't you guys think? And then we'll stick some eggs in this and we'll make our salmon patties. Of course, if we don't have enough salmon, I'll need to get some imitation crab or something and just make seafood patties, but I think we're going to be all right. I know what we forgot. We should probably have got some bread going to make toast so that I could make crumbs for this. And we're kind of doing this bass-ackwards today. So, we're going to set that aside a second while we go get the eggs and things like that and throw some toast in this oven to see if we can't get some breadcrumbs for this. I will just stick it directly on the rack. Don't let me forget that yeah. Not that I don't trust you guys, but I'm putting the timer on. Still cold. Cold? Where do you live that it's cold? I hate the cold, and I'm loving it because it is currently, wait a sec. Yeah, it's 85 degrees in here, Fahrenheit, for anyone who's not from the States. That's 35, 36 Celsius, something like that. Anyway, it's wonderful in here. So we need some eggs for this. And luckily I got some out. So on over here. Why would I trust you? Well, I trust the good intentions of all my friends. Not necessarily the execution at all times, but the intentions I trust. Hence why I actually went ahead and set the timer. Uh-oh. We got a text message. No, it's just a notification. Alright, so, huevos. We got 1 egg with a bit of shell in it because I was a little bit vigorous about opening it. 2 eggs. 3 eggs. That's a good enough reason to crack eggs into a separate bowl. There you go. Now, all we got to do is mix that up real quick. The thing about that being, I may have selected a bowl that was slightly too small for what I wanted to do. Especially seeing as how, in a minute, I'm going to need to get that toast out of there, crumble it up, and throw it in here. So, while we're waiting, we might transfer this to a slightly larger bowl. And I have just the one. As a housewarming gift, my mom, who happens to be here, got me these bowls, and I have not had a chance to use them yet. They're brand new mixing bowls, and if I can get them open, I will use one of them. And if I can't get them open, I'll buy a blowtorch tomorrow. All right. Let's look at my beautiful new mixing bowls. That toast might be ready. come with me if you want to cook. Toast is not ready yet. It needs to be a little overdone so that we can crumble it into the mix. So we carefully dump that in there. And then we can rinse this out real quick. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and wash this while I got it here, because it'll be one less thing to do later, and I can't really do anything until that toast comes out, so why not? Now, after we do these salmon patties, the next thing we're going to do is this beef, and after that we'll hit the chicken and the salad and all that good stuff, and I want to do some sauteed green beans, because those will last me a little while. If you can count to 3. I can count to 3 in 5 different counting systems. Binary's great. 1, 10, 11, 3. See? Flip that toast over one more time. It's not ready yet. It's getting close. So what we're going to do is probably get our pan ready for our salmon patties. And I think that this looks like a likely candidate right here. It'll be big enough to get a bunch of them done at once. This one might be an even better idea, but it's big, and I need that one for the beef that we're going to do. So this one's going to be our pan for right now. I'm going to go ahead and get a little olive oil in it to get it ready for the job it's about to do. What I also like to do is salt the bottom of the pan to season it. So instead of putting the salt on top of the food, it's down there, and it kind of keeps it from sticking a little bit, even on a nonstick pan, I've found. It has been doing that to everybody. Twitch has been unfollowing people from people. It unfollowed me from like the Bacon Maker and Cinna and several others. So, by the way, if any of you see me not following you, let me know, because I should be. Also, speaking of Cinna and the Bacon Maker and everyone like that, everyone who is here, Death Monkey, Just Heated, The Bacon Maker, Noisy if he's out there, Blessed Bacon, Battery Powered Aaron, Jessica Specs, all of them. Follow all those people, because they're wonderful people. They're all good friends of mine. And all of you are welcome in my kitchen at any time. In real life, come here. I will cook for you any time. That said, I should probably check on this toast, which is now almost done. Another 2 minutes ought to do that. But all wonderful people. And yeah, Twitch is being freaky lately. It is unfollowing people. Also, Mum says, I'll let Duffy make his own decisions. You'll have to ask him. Way to duck the question, Ma, and thanks for coming to my rescue. All right. Well, guys, while we wait for that, we've got this ready to go, and I think after that, we'll probably be working on that steak. Oh, one other thing. We've gotten to the point in making these potatoes that we can go ahead and throw some mushrooms in, and they won't take it too badly. So this is what the potatoes are doing so far. What I'm going to do, and I wonder if you guys can see this, is I am going to throw in some mushrooms. There we go. Now I'll put in a little bit more butter and a little bit more liquid so that it kind of doesn't get dry. And we can put in more liquid this time than we did last time because the things have already started to roast and kind of stick to the pan and caramelize and all that. So it's not going to make them mushy at this stage. It'll just kind of keep them from drying out. That's the hope anyway. So get us a little ramekin. Throw some water in there. There we go. Get our glove back. I think our toast is ready. Yay! All right. Now, get this butter out of our way. Mom says good luck. Oh, wait. There we go. Still a little hot. Be careful, because the moisture in this toast will kind of blast out of here as you're tearing it apart, and the steam will scald your finger if you're not careful. I think perhaps one piece of toast might have been enough for this amount of salmon patties, but we will find out shortly, won't we? What I'll do is I'll mix it up and I'll see if it looks like the right ratio, and if it does, I'll just take that other piece of toast and I will eat something with it. Alright guys, I wish I could, well I can. Here, let me show you what's going on in here. We're just going to stir this up real good, get that egg well incorporated, break up those bigger pieces of salmon, and get everything kind of mixed around into a nice wholesome paste. There we go. I guess, you know, it would be just as interesting if I turned this over here so you could still see me doing this. Alright. So what we're doing is we're just kind of getting this into a nice state where it's good and incorporated and into the consistency of a nice chunky paste. Because what we're going to do is press it together into patties and then try to get it to stick together. And unfortunately, since I didn't really grind up the breadcrumbs and the salmon's a little bit bigger and I got the carrots chopped a little bit rustic, this thing's probably not going to stick together the way a nice pureed thing will as far as patties, but it's still going to be great. So come on over here, we're going to turn on the heat. Get this ready to roll. Another thing we're going to do is we are going to have a plate handy so that when we pull these out of here, we have somewhere to set them. So now for the salmon patties. Move this out of the way. I got too much going on. And get this over here because we're going to want to wash our hands when this is done. I guarantee it. So get you a nice little handful. Make yourself a nice patty. Squeeze it into a ball. Get some good pressure to kind of incorporate it all together. It'll make some horrible crunchy squelchy sound as the egg kind of drains out of it. Don't squeeze it too hard because you don't want to squeeze too much of the egg out of it because it's what's going to hold it together. And that's about what you're looking for, is a nice salmon patty. And when you can, oh, my celery's falling out. Can't have that. I like my celery. When you start to smell the olive oil getting warm, just stick that in there and let it go for a minute and start shaping yourself another patty. So now we just make multiple patties and get them into the oil real quick. And if they want to fall apart a little bit, you know, just get them in there gently, because once the egg in there starts to set up, it'll start holding them together a little bit better. So don't worry too much if they don't stick together too good when you get them into the pan, because hopefully by the time you get them out of the pan, that will have fixed itself, although in this case that kind of came off of there. There we go. I think we can fit one more in at the moment. By the way, Mom, if you're still there, these new mixing bowls you gave me are really nice. I like this a lot. Come on. Cooperate. There we go. Wash your hands off. And what I might do is cover these a bit so that the top starts to cook a little bit and they start to hold together. Luckily for you guys, I've got a glass lid so you can still watch them cook. Now, what are y'all up to? Not much, which is good. It means you're enjoying the show and your day. Or you've wandered off in total boredom, either or. Oh, I've dropped something. Either or, but either way, it's nice to have you guys in my kitchen with me. So while we wait on these, because they are going to be just a minute, and yeah, here we go. I have a little piece of chicken for my salad, and I'm just going to kind of saute that up real fast as we wait. I'll get it ready to saute up as we wait, because I'll need to throw it in there when this is done. See, it's just a teeny tiny little piece. I want it to sprinkle over a salad later. So, while we wait for those, let's go ahead and spice this up. What I want is salt, pepper, and I need to see what that is. Cascabel. Dang it. All right. Let's go see what's hissing at me over here. There we go. Oh, aren't those pretty? They're not sticking too bad either. And they appear to be holding together all right. Turn them gently the first time. And if you do that, once it gets done on both sides, the only thing you have to worry about it is leaking out from the edges. And as the edges get themselves all done up, you ought to be in the clear by the time they solidify. See, that egg is starting to set up and really hold these together, which I'm grateful for. There we go. Yeah, very nice. So we're working on our little salmon fritters here. And while we do that, we've got our little piece of chicken here ready to roll. So, that's it for right now. Let's check on these potatoes while we're at it, shall we? Okay, now here's what I want to do with these. And I should probably do it before these salmon patties get out. Okay. Pop these out. I want a little more butter real quick. Where'd my knife go? There we go. We're going to cover them so that they don't dry out and can roast a while, and those mushrooms will get good and tender. And then we need to get these salmon patties out of here before they burn. So let's hurry this up, ladies and gents. There we go. Now that will keep the moisture in those while they continue to roast. Get our plate. Where'd our plate go? Yeah, there it is. Check on this and make sure it's ready to come out. Oh yeah, we got a minute more to go on those. We're fine. Yeah, I think we'll leave those two on their side there. Let's get a little taste. Mmm. Oh yeah. Mmm, perfect. Oh yeah. Good night, Ma. Go sleep that off, okay? Be good. I'll talk to you soon. And if you can hear me, you don't need to apologize to everyone for leaving. Just go and take care of you. That one is going to be the least cooperative one out of the four. Alrighty. So look at these, aren't they pretty? We got a few more to make, and then we're going to start on the beef. Oh, the chicken and then the beef. So there's one. There's two. That one's pretty. There's three. That one fell apart. I told you that one was going to be uncooperative. And then there's four. So a little bit more olive oil. Just a dot. And what we're going to do is get us another patty made. We're going to go for this. There we go. And after this, we're going to get our chicken going. See if we can get enough to make a good, big, decent sized patty here. There we go. The short answer is no. But that's all right. There we go. That'll make 6 salmon patties, and that's going to be real decent. That'll make about 2 lunches for me this week. Alrighty. Try out our bowl here. And stick it over here so I can properly wash it later. Because right now what we need to do is get this counter wiped off so that we can start on some other things. Oh, there we go. So what's everyone up to today? Anything good? I see that Battery Powered Specs is streaming, so when we finish here, I'll probably throw you guys all over to them. But in the meantime, I'm looking forward to the rest of the stuff that we cooked today. Also, yeah, I didn't need this second piece of toast. Oop. I'm all right. I'm all right. All righty. The vegetables are starting to smell really, really good. All right, here we go. Just gently flip these over. There you go. Let me show you guys this. Here's a little piece of it. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Mmm. Yes. It's very good. So we just have to wait for this to finish. And then I'm going to rinse this pan out. And I'll have this one ready to do our chicken up in. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little pat of butter in that so that we can swap them out on the quick. There we go. And for any of you wondering about the fact that I have 4 burners, but I'm not using a lot of them, orchestrating a cooking stream and showing you guys what's going on and cooking multiple things at the same time occupies quite a bit of attention. And these aren't the kind of things that you get 4 burners going with. Especially if you're trying to show it to people. There we go. This is going to be really good. Little salmon fritters. Yummy. Alright, that's good enough. They're 1,000,000 degrees. They will finish cooking on the plate. So now what we got to do real quick is to rinse this out. Whee! Let's wash this real quick while it's still hot. That way we can just hang it straight back up again. And while we wait, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that on there, and we'll do our chicken here in a second. And then, for the part you guys have all been waiting for, we're going to get the beef going. Or if any of you guys are old enough to remember the commercial, where's the beef? Okay. Isn't that pretty? We're going to put it face down in here so that I can season up the top of it. There we are. These I will take and wrap up for later. Although I want them to cool down before I wrap them, because if I put plastic wrap on them now, they'll sweat and they'll get all mushy, and we don't want that. So I'll just gently set them over here and allow them some time to themselves. And then after that, it'll be the moment you've all been waiting for. The big Monster Hunter World beef thing. Because I'm doing that again. Right now, today. Because that'll last me for a few days. There we go. Spread that around. Let it soak up that seasoning. And this I'm just going to stick on like a little plate. And, sorry. And put that aside for a minute, because I'm going to eat that on top of my salad a little later. There you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. Another thing I'm probably going to need to do is to move this big pan back here so this will fit. There we go. So you guys up to anything good? Alright, that looks beautiful. We'll cut into that in a second. Stick this over here. Let's wash this pan out here real quick. Come on. There we go. All right. Clean as a whistle. They always come clean easier when you wash them hot. Now, here's the big one, guys. The big thing of the day. Come with me, because we are going to do us up some beef. You will notice that I left out the tenderizing hammer, and there's a reason for that. Because what we're going to do is to tenderize another big slab of beef. Except this one ain't going in to marinate. This one is just getting cooked straight on up as is. Here we go. What do you think of that, guys? Pretty decent, huh? All right. A little plastic wrap over it to keep it from going everywhere as we tenderize it. And here we go. I'm not going to do too much to it because the pan should do most of it. All right, guys. Come on over here. We're going to get this nice and hot. And I can't decide if I want butter or oil for this, so I think I'm going to go with 50-50. But before we do anything, we do need to get this pan nice and hot. And it will be in just a second. And while we wait, I think I'm probably going to pick up a little bit around here just so that the place doesn't remain a grand and glorious mess. I saw this on the internet a few days ago, but someone said, I just want to get my house clean enough to the point where if people drop by unexpectedly, it does not look like we've been fighting a poltergeist for the last 6 days. Here we go. Get these ramekins in the dishwasher. Eggshells. Cutting board. Should probably put it somewhere besides in front of the other cutting board. We're just going to wash this silicone marinade brush because it just comes clean instantly. Okay, that pan is going to be hot by now. So here's our butter. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Turn that on. Here's our oil. We want to get this all over the pan because what we don't want to happen is the meat to stick to the pan. So we're seasoning up this pan with this butter and oil and letting it kind of go in. The problem is both of them have a rather low smoke point, so we need to get this in quick. Here we go. Get a little of that off of there. I got my sad more than I wanted. That looks more like it. There we go. All right. Salt. Pepper. Parsley. And special treat, pink peppercorns, which are not peppercorns at all. They are actually some kind of rose hip. But either way, we're going to grind those little suckers up. There we go. Stick them right on there. Look at that. Alrighty, guys. Ooh, you should smell this. I'm actually cleaning this spatula for a reason, because I want to use it to kind of pat the spices down onto this so that when I turn it over, they stick. Are you guys seeing this? Okay. So I need to get a good grip on this, because what I really want to do is get just a little of this oil out of it. No, I don't. That's fine. There we go. Look at that sear, huh? So again, pink pepper. Salt. Black pepper. And parsley. Now, last time I did the Monster Hunter Feast, I tried to cut it in the pan as if it were on a griddle. And it worked, but it wasn't the easiest thing. So I am going to stick it on a cutting board to slice it. Before we continue searing it on all sides. Which means I need to wash my knife. Either way. But I'll be bringing it over here to cut it, and then we'll throw it back into the pan. That also means we need to be quick about it, because if I don't, the pan will overheat a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'll just go ahead and aim you guys this way real quick while I go and get that. All right. Now, real quick, we are going to divvy this up. Yum. I should have gone the other way. Oh well. Come on, y'all. Let me get a fork here real quick. There we go. Those will cook up real nice and even. So let's get them back in the pan on the quick. Yeah, look at that. Jealous? Yeah, you are, don't lie. What do you guys think of that? Alrighty. You guys don't know how marvelous this is going to be. But I do. Let's wash our stuff while we do this. All right. This piece right here I didn't really think through. That's all right. We do want to deglaze that just a little bit. Man, y'all. I ain't even kidding. That piece looks perfectly rare and wonderful, and I'm just going to set that aside as a little treat for me. Right there. We're going to let those go another minute or two to make sure that they get up to temperature all the way through, but I don't want them medium or well done or anything like that. They should come out a lovely medium rare. And after that, we'll make our salad and throw our stream over to somebody. I think these are about ready to plate up, don't you? Anybody in here? No? Well, I mean, you are in there. I see you all, but... Nobody's chit-chatting at me at the moment. Which is fine, because I do have my hands full. Alright guys, we'll cut these into cubelets in a minute, but first things first, let's attend to this pan, which is not non-stick. It has ended up a little bit of a mess. So, first things first, we rinse it out. Secondly, we have a nice little copper wire sponge here, which you don't use on a non-stick pan. But on a stainless steel like this, it should work wonders. And as you can see, it's doing just exactly that. Just don't burn yourself. You go by feel. If there's any spots that don't feel smooth or slick, that your wire sponge kind of sticks, that's where there's grease, that's where there's oil, that's where there's something that's kind of welding to your pan. Now we rinse that out. Get a good look at it. Yep, still a couple more spots that need a little attention. Of course, now we've got cool water in it, so it's okay. You can kind of fill it up and mess with it. Get it good and cleaned out. Ha ha! See? Easy peasy. All right. So now that we've got our cookware settled for the most part, Oh, it looks as though we might need to check on our potatoes. Let's see what they're up to. Oh yeah, those are starting to look really good, but they're nowhere near done yet. So, back in they go. Okay. What was I gonna do? Do I want to do salad or green beans or both? Because the green beans will keep for a couple days, and I can eat on them when I eat. I can eat on those while I eat my, salmon patties. Although green beans only take a minute to saute, so I might just leave those fresh for now, especially if we're doing salad. So yeah, tell you what, let's do. Why don't we cut up our beef here and see what it looks like on the inside, and then I can probably throw you guys over to battery-powered specs. Okay. So let's see what we're looking at here. Let me wash my fork here real quick. That's more done than I wanted it, but it looks great. There we go. It's still nice and pink on the inside. That's probably close to a medium well, and I kind of wanted it a medium rare. But that's okay, because that's a thin piece. If we go over to this larger piece over here, and we cut into it, I bet you, no, that one's medium well too, huh? Well, I left it in too long. But that's okay, it's still going to be freaking delicious. As a matter of fact, to prove it to you guys, let me half that, because while I would happily stick that entire chunk of thing in my mouth, doing it on stream might be a little off-putting. But, look at that, guys. Still pink. Well seared on the outside. Perfectly seasoned and spiced. Mmm. And so tender and juicy. Mmm. It is perfection. Hey, Death Monkey, you're back. How you doing? I'm eating meat. So, what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to cut these all up, because I'm not going to be able to eat them all right now. Or maybe I will. Who knows? But if I cut them later when they're cold into individual pieces, it makes it better. It stays more tender and more juicy longer. It doesn't dry out. So I will eat these pieces that I've cut up, and the rest of these will be for me to eat later. If they last that long. Yeah. Okay. So, first things last and last things first. We are making a small salad to go with this. Not anything fancy, not anything major, but it's a nice touch to the meal. These are kind of neat. I picked it up because it was on sale for 99 cents, but they're living lettuce. They've got their little roots in, and you can stick water in there, and they stay healthy and alive for a good long while in your refrigerator. Of course, all that aside, it was 99 cents, so there we go. And we are going to get some almonds, because I like almonds on my salad. I don't have any strawberries or anything at the moment. Carrot for my salad. And for the pièce de résistance, remember what I said earlier? We have got chicken for our salad. Let's see if I can use all my cutting boards. Oh, I already have. Luckily, one of them is probably still usable, or handy, or somewhere. Come on, I know I've got one more cutting board. Here it is. There we go. Cut your chicken up in tiny little pieces for your salad. Lay it right across the top. And we're going to want some dressing. Going for a medium rare. Well, for a steak that size, you have to do a medium rare, because if you sear it to the point where it's well done all the way through, it kind of gets tough on the outside. Now, you can do it, but you got to do it a little differently than I did, and it doesn't taste quite the same, although it's good. Now, I'm medium rare all the way. You know, knock its horns off, wipe its tail, and put it on the plate. But one of these days, for those of you who, much like my ex-wife, just can't stand anything other than perfectly well done, I'm going to have to show you guys how to do a real decent and tender steak well done. And there is a bit of an art to it. The reason that they don't do it well at restaurants is because it takes time. A lot more time than the chef in the back wants to spend on your steak. Give me a second here. But medium well and well done is easily achievable, and it tastes good too. But it's hard, and it takes a little bit more effort than doing a medium rare one well done. And that said, the medium rare ones, oh, that's good. A little lemonade for our dinner here. And let's check on these vegetables to see if they're done. They're smelling really good, but they also do not smell done yet. And they are not. They're getting closer to being done, but they're not really on it yet. I'm going to add a little dollop of oil just to keep everything happy. And we're going to stick those back in there. You can tell from the mushrooms, because they're starting to soften up and get darker right there. You can see where they're kind of steaming themselves. But the problem is they're not, in fact, at all starting to get all shriveled and gooey and wonderful like I like them. So that's going to take a little while. And much like anything, in that particular regard, patience is rewarded. So we'll stick that back in and set the timer for another 15 minutes. And you guys saw the vegetables. You know how they're going to turn out. They just need to darken up a little bit. And it seems a little silly to make you guys sit around for 15 minutes while vegetables get slightly darker and slightly more wrinkly. So that said, you have seen how everything was cooked today. And I've really, really enjoyed having you guys in my kitchen. I am going to clean up, throw the stream over to battery-powered specs, and then get on with some other chores. But I'll be back later. I might play some video games with y'all or do something fun. In the meantime, it's not pretty at all. Salad with a piece of chicken on top of it. Chicken Caesar salad, basically. We have got our delicious delicious beef. And I'm not putting it on a plate or arranging it or anything because I'm not eating it all right now. So I'll probably just cover it up and put it in the fridge after I get what I want out of it. We've got our potatoes that you just saw. And then last but not least, we have our marinade to cook tomorrow. So this beef is going to get shoved into the oven and then thrown on a grill pan tomorrow to make faux ribs. And it's going to be wonderful, but it's got to marinate for 24 hours or more. So we will revisit that shortly. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by and spending time with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure and a joy, and you guys are welcome in my kitchen anytime via Twitch or in person if you happen to be coming through Cincinnati. Let me know you're running through. I'll cook something for you. What games do I play? Well, mostly old Nintendo, Atari, and arcade games. I've really been enjoying the original SNK Athena lately, and the same company made Crystalis, depending on your pronunciation of it. And I would like to play that sometime soon, but usually it's old arcade games and things like that, which are a lot of fun. I don't play games often. You know what? I've got a new little capture card that I was using for getting old home movies off of VHS tapes into MP4. I could probably repurpose that and play some Mario Maker at some point, but we'll play with that a little later. In the meantime, I've got to go and eat and do some laundry and clean up around here a bit and do some invoices. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and I am going to throw you over to Battery Powered Specs. Thank you again so much for coming by. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys really soon.